In this video, I'm going to talk about reference panel within Dynamics 365 Customer Service Hub application. Now, this reference panel is specifically for model-driven apps, so it can be used in any type of app, not limiting to Dynamics 365 Customer Service. Now, what is a reference panel? Now, as you see in the screen over here, there are like various controls, like a single line of text, there's a lookup, there is a multi-line text and timeline control. Now, as you see over here, this particular section is called as a reference panel. Now, this reference panels are basically used to surface out the knowledge article, surface out the recent cases or similar cases. Now, if you see over here, this one is highlighted. So that means this icon is recent cases and entitlement. So this will list down recent cases and entitlement for the specific case. Now, if I click on this knowledge, then something else loads up. Okay, so that means if you select something on the right hand side on this icon, then that particular panel lights up. So within a small interface, we can have many controls listed over here. So that's the benefit of reference panel. So reference panel is basically a great way to get the work done without moving away from the screen. And you can look up to other related items such as reviews or if there are any reservations, or if there are similar cases or there are similar knowledge articles, related to that cases. Those all things can be navigated without even moving away from the screen. So that's the whole purpose of this navigation. But how do we add that in a custom form? Okay, so that's the question. So what I've done is I have made a copy of case for interactive experience and I've created a form called as AAA. Okay, now I have specifically removed this section in that AAA form. If you see over here, this is a very plain form. Okay, so there's nothing much in it. Okay, and there is no section of reference panel. So this is that form I have modified a bit. Now what I'm going to do is now I want to add those reference panel. Now, how do I do that? Now, first thing what you need to do is like you need to go into the backend to edit the form. Okay, now how do you open this form is like you need to go into the backend. So let me show you. uh, yep. So if you go to the case table, then within that you need to select the form, and the first form which I edited was case for interactive experience, but I created a copy of that and I've created AAA form. Then when I click on AAA form, it will take me to this interface. Now from here I can create that reference panel, but there is no direct way to create those controls, because if you look into the controls over here, you may not find that reference panel. Okay, you may not find that reference panel over here. So for that, what you need to do is you need to click here and go to the classic view. Now classic view is the old interface through which you can edit the form. Now here, if you go into the classic view, you need to first select the section. Okay, so let me select this section. Okay, so I've selected this section. Now here, if you go to insert, under section you will find something called as a reference panel. Okay, so I'll add a reference panel. Now that reference panel is added over here, okay, under this section. Now what are the things you can add in a reference panel? Now this is not quite intuitive, so you need to exactly see what I'm doing. Okay, so first thing we can add, say first select the section, and maybe let's add say subgrid. Okay, now before you even add a subgrid to this particular section, it will ask for icon. Okay, so let me first select an icon. Let me see what icon I can select. I'll just randomly select say train icon. Okay, and I'll call it as say similar cases. Okay, and that's a unique name. I'll say display the label on the form. It will show the label on the form. I'll not show that. And here under records, you can see only related record and with regards to entity. So maybe I'll just select case suggestions, suggested cases. Okay, and default view can be all case suggestions. Whatever is available will come over here. If I want additionally search box to be displayed, index to be displayed, I can do that. I won't select much, but these are the only simple things which I need to make those changes. So if I click on OK, Okay, it says the name must start with an alphabetic character and can be followed by alphanumeric character. Now, what has happened over here is I have given the name with a space in it. So try to avoid spaces. Okay, and I'll just remove the space, and it's a similar cases now. Okay, so I'll click on OK. Now, case suggestions has been added within this particular section. Okay, now let me come here. Okay, and now this particular section. Okay, let me again add a subgrid. Okay, now same thing goes over here. Like if you see the subgrid which I have added over here under section, okay, under this particular section, uh, I can again come back to this particular form. Okay, and I'll try to insert under section and add reference panel. Now, the moment I click on here, it says you cannot add more than one reference panel. So that means I can only add one reference panel in a form. Okay. So you can't have multiple reference panel added to this form. Okay. Now here, if you see this particular section, let me add a quick view form now. Okay. So maybe I'll add a quick view form which is related to, say, I'll call it as quick contact view. Label as quick contact view, lookup field as contact, and related entities contact, and quick view form is maybe a contact reference panel. Okay, and I'll say if there are additional properties, I'll just say okay, display as card on the quick view form, or maybe I'll just click on OK. Okay, so this is a quick contact view which has been added over here. Now, again, coming back to this section, I will add something else. I will again add quick view form, and I'll select another icon, maybe this one, load data icon. And this time I will select knowledge base article, and I'll well, not knowledge base, but maybe I'll just add customer. Okay, so customer contact, and here I will add cases for customer. Okay, so case customer. I'll click on OK, and here I have this section added. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just save it, publish it, and see what's the output of this. Now there are a couple of items I have added, case suggestions and case customer. Now when I run this application, it showed me this error. Okay, case suggestion entity is not valid for this client, and for case customer, it was perfectly executed. Okay, now in order to troubleshoot this case suggestion entity is not valid for this client, what you need to do is like you need to again go back into the form, go to that specific form. So this is that specific form. Now I double click on this. Now here, if I go to controls, now the read only grid is not a specific control which will work on that. Okay, so I need to click on add a control, and here let me find something related to similar cases. So there is a similar cases grid control name, and I'll click on add. And here, let me say it is available for web, phone, and tablet view. Click on OK, save it, and then publish. Once it is published, let's refresh the screen again and see what's the output of this. Now if I scroll down, as you see over here, now it is loaded correctly. Now it is showing similar cases over here, and there is another button for case cuts. Now how many buttons can we add? Like this, we can add n number of buttons. Okay, so if I go to AAA form again, in the old view, here under this section, we have added two items. Now if I again select this section, okay, so remember you select this section, go to insert, and then you can either add a subgrid or a quick view form. Now let me add another subgrid. Okay, now from here I can add multiple subgrid. I'm just showing you just for one example. Okay, so maybe I'll select survey invite 32, and from a record perspective, let me select entity as, say, maybe knowledge article incidents, or maybe phone calls, let's say posts. Okay, and I can show you the post as well. Okay, so maybe let me call this as post. That's post regarding its label, and I'll just click on OK. Now I've added post. Now like this, I can add multiple quick view form or a subgrid just to show more information in a limited space. Okay, so I click on save and then publish. Once it is saved, I'll publish this, and once it is published, I'll try to refresh the page. So what should happen technically is, like, I should be able to see one more icon over here. So thereby within this limited space, I'm showing three different information. Okay. So yes, so now it has run. Now you can see one more thing. This is related to post. So I'll be able to see all the post related information over here again. Now the post entity is not valid for this client. Again, I showed you if such kind of error pops up, then what you need to do is you need to again go back to the form, select that particular control, and go to the control section, and select a different control. Okay, so here you can add different control depending on your requirement. There are grid control, there are attachments, there are calendar, and there are many control. So you need to select something related to posts. Okay, and then that particular control will get displayed accordingly. So that's it, folks. This is all about replicating a quick reference panel within your custom form. So this is the quick reference panel, which is available out of the box. But if you want to design something for your custom form, you can do that very well in the custom form. As I showed you, that it is not possible using the modern interface edit form, but you need to go into the classic experience. And then once you go into the classic experience, you need to open the form, and under a section you need to add as a reference panel. Now remember, in a form you can only add one reference panel. Okay, and the reference panel is basically available in insert under section. Okay, so if you try to add more than one reference panel like this, then it will throw out an error message that you cannot add more than one reference panel. Once you have the reference panel, then within that particular section you can go ahead and add a subgrid, or a maybe a quick view form, or any other control to render the content within your form. So that's it, folks. This is all about reference panel in Dynamics 365 customer service application.